A brief moment from 2019 is suddenly back in the spotlight, and this time it's colliding with a far larger storm. A video from a Turning Point USA Student Action Summit in West Palm Beach, Florida, shows U.S. President Donald Trump on stage with a young woman identified as Laura Sheik, a former North Carolina State University student. Sheik had been recognized during Trump's speech on December 21, 2019, after voicing her support for him amid the impeachment battle and student activism debates. In the clip, Trump is seen taking her by the head, pulling her closer, and appearing to lean in for a kiss. The moment lasts only seconds, but it has now gone viral, shared widely across social media platforms. The renewed attention is not happening in isolation. The clip is resurfacing amid intense scrutiny surrounding the newly released Epstein files, which have triggered a political and media firestorm. Users on X reacted with disbelief and outrage, calling the clip creepy and uncomfortable, while others mocked its circulation amid the Epstein files storm, sparking heated debate over Trump's conduct and the video's broader political implications. According to a New York Times analysis, the latest tranche of Justice Department documents contains more than 38,000 references to Donald Trump across over 5,300 files, a number that has drawn comparisons online for its sheer scale. However, the report also reports that many of those references appear in news articles, publicly available materials, and third-party documents that passed through Jeffrey Epstein's email inbox. Crucially, the paper says the files do not include direct communications between Trump and Epstein, and only a small number date back to the early 2000s, when the two were known to be socially acquainted. The Trump administration has forcefully pushed back against speculation. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche said the Justice Department reviewed sexual misconduct allegations involving Epstein and President Trump, and found no credible evidence warranting further investigation. Still, the optics are fueling online debate, as the Epstein documents reignite uncomfortable questions about power, proximity, and accountability. Moments like the 2019 Turning Point USA clip are being replayed and reinterpreted, not as isolated incidents, but as part of a broader narrative unfolding in real time. Explosive allegations against President Donald Trump are resurfacing. Claims of rape, sex trafficking, and even murder, buried inside massive new release of Epstein-related files. They are graphic, they are disturbing, and they will definitely blow your mind. The accusations appear in raw FBI complaint logs included in the newly released trove of 3.5 million documents tied to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. These entries are not findings, not charges, and not conclusions, but tips submitted to law enforcement, some second-hand, many unverifiable, and all explicitly flagged as unproven. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche announced the document release Friday, saying it was part of compliance with the Epstein Transparency Act, after criticism that the administration failed to meet a congressional deadline. Almost immediately, attention zeroed in on complaints that mentioned Trump, a former acquaintance of Epstein. One complaint alleges a teenage girl was forced to perform a sexual act on Trump decades ago. Another claims Trump paid for sex acts and was present when a newborn child was murdered. Others describe supposed calendar girls' parties at Mar-a-Lago, involving children, genital examinations, and prominent public figures. Blanche has been unequivocal. He says the White House had no involvement in deciding what documents were released, and their review of the Epstein files found no evidence of criminal conduct by the president. Trump has repeatedly denied wrongdoing, and has said he cut ties with Epstein long before Epstein's first arrest. The FBI documents themselves include cautionary notes, stating that some allegations came secondhand, and that investigators were often unable to verify claims, or even make contact with complainants. In several cases, follow-ups were logged as no contact made. Still, the impact was immediate. Shortly after publication, complaints mentioning Trump were removed from the Department of Justice website, replaced with page not found notices, even as copies circulated widely on social media. Journalists, including CNN's Jake Tapper, publicly noted the sudden removal. The file dump also includes unverified claims involving other powerful figures. In one draft email written by Epstein to himself, he alleges Bill Gates asked him to delete communications related to an alleged sexually transmitted disease, another claim never substantiated and never charged. The Epstein files once again exposed the chaos of an investigation that attracted thousands of tips, some credible, many not, and the danger of conflating accusation with proof. The Justice Department says transparency is necessary. Today we are producing more than 3 million pages, including more than 2,000 videos and 180,000 images. In total, that means the department produced approximately 3.5 million pages in compliance with the Act. Just a quick note about the videos and images. The 2,000 videos and 180,000 images are not all videos and images taken by Mr. Epstein or someone around him. They include large quantities of commercial pornography and images that were seized from Epstein's devices, but which he did not take or that someone around him did not take. Some of the videos, though, and some of the images do appear to be taken by Mr. Epstein or by others around him. Now I want to talk for a few minutes about the department's document identification and review protocols. It consisted of multiple layers of review and quality control designed to ensure compliance under the Act and protect victims. On top of the review protocols that the department had in place, the United States Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York employed an additional review protocol to ensure compliance with a court order requiring United States Attorney J. Clayton to certify that with respect to certain materials, a large quantity of the materials, a rigorous process was undertaken to protect victims against any clearly unwanted invasion of their personal privacy. The categories of documents withheld include those permitted under the Act to be withheld: files that contain personally identifying information of victims or victims' personal medical files, and similar files, the disclosure of which would constitute a clearly unwarranted invasion of personal privacy. Any depiction of CSAM or child pornography was obviously excluded. Anything that would jeopardize an active federal investigation. And finally, anything that depicts or contains images of death, physical abuse, or injury, also not produced. Although the Act allows for withholding for items necessary to keep secret in the interest of national security or foreign policy, no files are being withheld or redacted. On that basis, to protect victims, we redacted every woman depicted in any image or video, with the exception of Ms. Maxwell. We did not redact images of any man, unless it was impossible to redact a woman without also redacting the man. To this end, though, and to ensure transparency, if any member of Congress wishes to review any portions of the responsive production in any unredacted form, they're welcome to make arrangements with the department to do so, and we're happy to do that. So I take umbrage at the suggestion, which is totally false, that the Attorney General or this department does not take child exploitation or sex trafficking seriously, or that we somehow do not want to protect victims. We do. There are some select members of Congress and some in the public eye, including those most critical of our efforts of full transparency under the Act, who remain silent as to all the work that we have done and continue to do every day in this space. With the production of this magnitude, mistakes are inevitable. We of course want to immediately correct any redaction errors that our team may have made. And so the department has established an email in the inbox for victims to reach us directly to correct redactions and any concerns. One appropriate that's been existing since December. And we've been doing that since then. Today's release marks the end of a very comprehensive document identification and review process to ensure transparency to the American people and compliance with the Act.